Good afternoon, everyone. This is Priya, Assistant Professor of English. So, today I am here to discuss the most important topic, that is reading and its importance. So, in this session, we are going to look into reading, what is reading, and what important part is plays in our lives. So, the very basic question, what do you mean by reading? So, what is reading? As we all know, reading is something, it is an activity which we do, to interpret the text, to understand that, something that is written. So, basically, it is an activity in which you're going through a particular text and you're trying to get the information through that text. What is, whatever the written part is, whatever is written in the text. So, reading and listening, as we know, are the two most common ways to get information. So, to get the information, what do? We either read or we try to listen to some information, some kind of information. So, reading is nothing but an activity in which you are engaging your mind, you're engaging yourself, to understand the text, what is written. Okay, so it can be called as a cognitive, multifaceted process wherein you recognize the word and comprehend it to understand its meaning. So, when you are reading, you're engaging yourselves, you're engaging your cognitive abilities, wherein it is a multifaceted process. Multifaceted process means it is different kinds of activities which are involved during reading. It's not just that the words are visible to you, you're just going through the words and you're just leaving it. That is not called as an effective reading. So when you're reading a particular text, you should be in a position that you are recognizing the word, you're trying to understand the meaning of the word, you're understanding the text. What is the meaning of the text? That is what is called as comprehending. Comprehending means to understand its meaning, understanding the meaning of the word, the meaning of the sentence, as well as the meaning of the text. So for this, uh, what happens when you are reading? So for that, the most important thing is when you are reading, your brain needs to be stimulated to function properly and foster ideas. Foster. So whatever activity you're doing, your brain will be continuously engaged in each and every activity you are doing. So a brain is the as we all know, it is the most important part of your body, because everything begins from your brain, everything begins from the activity of your brain. So for your brain to function properly and effectively, to enhance the working of your brain, what you need to do is you need to feed your brain, you need to give proper exercise to your brain. Okay, so how you can do that is through reading. So this activity of reading is called, as one of the most easiest and efficient way to sharpen your mind. Means you are uh, feeding your mind, you're feeding your brain through this reading activity. So as we all know, to keep ourselves physically strong, to keep our body physically strong, to keep our body physically active, healthy. What do? We take good nutrition, we do regular exercise, we follow a certain routine. So similarly, to keep our brain healthy and strong, what you need to do is you need to feed it with proper text, and you need to feed it, you need to exercise it, and you need to give it the proper activity, the proper information. And how is it possible? The only one activity which engages your mind, which nourishes your brain, is through reading. Okay, so reading is one of the greatest way of exercising your brain. This is one activity which will cover all the the things which you do to keep yourself active. So when you're reading, you're helping your brain to remain active, to help you to function properly. It will help you to enhance your thinking capacity. It will help you to foster new ideas, to get more and more creative. Okay, so reading is not only a process of remembering, but also a mental work process that involves aspects of critical and creative thinking. So, as you know, most of us think that when you just read once, it's okay, you can understand it. You can gain the information, whatever you have read through the text. It will be there with you forever. For that, you know what is the other work process what is the other process which is involved is critical and creative thinking. So these are the mental work processes which are related to your mind, which are related to your brain. So critical and creative thinking means thinking, something unique, thinking in some other way, not thinking in the same way, as the one person is thinking. Different people may be having different kinds of thought processes, different ideologies. So, critical thinking means trying to interpret the meaning of the text completely. Creative thinking means this text is there, how it can be represented in another way. Finding unique ways of interpreting the text, is called as creative thinking. Okay, next, almost all notable personalities read every day as they recognize that knowledge is the key to success. As we all know, when you want to be successful, you have to be a knowledgeable person. And the most, easiest way and the most efficient way of gaining knowledge is through reading. So, when you are making it as a habit of reading different kinds of texts on a regular basis, you tend to gain more and more knowledge. So, as we all know, if you have come across, different interviews, different articles, most of the notable personalities, most of the famous personalities, refer to reading of texts, which they consider it as a key to success. So reading is like a key to success. It helps you to be successful, in a very effective way. It is one of the easiest way, to read, to analyze, to interpret the particular text, to get the proper motivation, take in the positive things, understand the text properly. And all these things happen with when you are, you know, thorough with your reading, when you have the complete idea about what the reading is. So reading is not just going through the text, but understanding the text, understanding the information, interpreting the text, comprehending the text, so that it could be, one of the most effective tool towards your development. Okay. So next slide is about why reading is important. So why do you think reading is important? So reading skills enable you to read written text in one or more languages. So reading, knowing one language or different kinds of languages is another part. But whatever text you are reading and whatever language you are reading, the reading skills help you to read as well as understand what that particular text is meant for. Okay. Next, they can also help you understand, interpret, analyze, and explain the text you read. So, reading skills can help you to understand, interpret. Interpret means you're trying to, analyze, you're trying to interpret whatever the text is about and explain the text you read. Next, they can improve your overall literacy skills by helping you find meaning in text and developing language fluency by improving your vocabulary and enhancing your expertise in sentence construction. So, how can a reading skill be helpful to you? Why reading is important over here? What is the need of reading? It helps your overall literacy skills. Literacy skills means being a literate person means when you are able to read, write, you are able to represent yourself, you are able to, uh, interpret the situations, when you are trying to, think in a more creative way. You're trying to, think in a critical way. You're trying to understand the text completely. So it helps you to find the meaning of that particular text. so that you can develop your language fluency, you can develop your reading skills, you can develop your speaking skills, you can develop your communication skills. It helps you to improve your vocabulary. Vocabulary are nothing but the words which we use for communication. So if you are clear with the particular words which you are going to use in your communication, you can communicate effectively, or you can also write effectively. When you read more and more, you get come across more and more new vocabulary, which helps you, in enhancing your sentence structures. Sentence structures means how you are going to construct a particular sentence, in what situation you are going to use what kinds of words. So when you are reading, you come across different kinds of vocabulary, different words, which will help you to find the meanings as well as to apply these words, these new words which you're coming across in your everyday situation or in your everyday life. So next, reading is important to, it is essential to have excellent reading skills to communicate effectively through notes, letters, emails, and other forms. So when you're not able to write any, particular text, we're not able to write a letter, a note, an article, you will be, called as an inefficient person when you're working in a workplace, or when you're studying in your academics. So to develop your writing skills also, you need to develop your reading skills. Okay, so reading skills help you to communicate effectively. It helps you to interpret your information, what your what your intention is. You're trying to make it clear to the opposite person by writing, either writing the notes, by either writing, the letters, emails, whatever it may be, and other forms of writing. So, reading skills help you to communicate effectively. These skills can ensure that there are fewer instances of miscommunication and misunderstanding in personal and professional interaction. So, what do you mean by miscommunications, misunderstanding? When you are not clear with the sentences, when you are not clear with your words, when you are not clear with whatever text you have written, okay, when you are using some different words, for a completely different situation, what happens over here is you tend to get into a trouble because your communication is not clear. Okay, so when you are reading more and more, when you are, perfect in your reading skills, it will also help you to reduce these kinds of errors of miscommunication and misunderstanding. So you can write perfectly, you can write clearly what is, what is your intention, what is your viewpoint, what are you trying to say, what are you trying to share. So when you're proper with your sentence structures, when you're, thorough with your vocabulary, it will help you to reduce these kinds of miscommunications and misunderstandings in personal as well as in professional setups. Okay, so reading is important in all the ways. Next slide, we are going to discuss about the importance of reading. So these are certain, very, very important points which will help us to understand that, how reading is important. So the first important point is giving satisfaction. So what is the meaning of this giving satisfaction? What happens when you are reading? Okay, so when you are reading, you get a feeling that you have achieved something. When you are trying to understand that particular text, you get a satisfaction. Yeah, that I have understood the text. Whatever I have read, I have understood. Whatever task was given to me, I have gone through that task. Gone through that task. I have tried to analyze that task. I have developed the ways, to handle or tackle that task. So all this happens when you are an effective reader. So when you have good reading skills, when you're able to understand the text, when you're able to understand the things, whatever are given to you, you get that self-satisfaction. So reading helps you to give satisfaction. Okay. Next point is enhancing focus and concentration. So as we have discussed earlier, reading is one kind of exercise to your brain. It will help you to enhance your focus and concentration. So when you read, you will come across different kinds of things, different kinds of learnings, the things that you want, you need to know. More often, you come across, the direct experiences of, of that particular text, of that particular author. So books and the, the written resources which you are having, they are direct means, of increasing your focus. When you have that particular text, whatever text you're going through, it will help you to improve your focus and concentration. How? Because when you are reading with that curiosity, understand that particular text, your mind is, directly engaged in reading, in trying to analyze, in trying to interpret, in trying to comprehend the text which is in front of you. So automatically you develop that curiosity. The brain is engaged in that reading activity, which helps you to improve your focus and your concentration. Next important point is about imparting knowledge. So as we all know, how do we gain knowledge? By reading or by listening. Okay, when you are listening to some, you know, listening to some particular text, or particular you're watching some particular video, when you're reading something. So what happens when you're reading is you read with a purpose, you read with an intention to gain knowledge. You want to understand that particular text, you want to understand the particular subject. So reading helps you to impart knowledge, to gain knowledge. The more and more you read, the more and more knowledge you gain. Okay. When you gain more and more knowledge, you get creative ideas. And when you get these kinds of creative ideas, you try to, implement those things. You try to apply those things. You try to get, you try ways, to find new ways of, some creation, some new creation. So in this way, it helps you to engage yourself, it helps you to gain knowledge, and as well it helps you to become more creative. Next importance of reading would be exercise of brain. So as we all know, brain needs exercise, as our physical body also needs exercise to be healthy. So reading is it is a very fruitful activity which helps your brain with the necessary exercise. Okay, because your brain will be continuously engaged when you're reading the particular text. Next, it enhances your analytical thinking. Analytical thinking means uh, when you are reading the particular text, you want to uh, you want to analyze the things, you want to know the new ways which are there existing in the world, throughout the world. You don't know about them. So when you read more and more text, you will come across more and more ideas, more and more creative things, more and more imaginative things. So it helps you to develop your thinking, because you're coming across different kinds of thinkings of different writers, of different authors. So it helps you to analyze the things. It helps you the views of the other people. Next is improving the vocabulary. So as we all know, vocabulary means the words. So when you are reading, it helps you to increase your vocabulary. It helps you to find out, to come across the new words which are existing, which we do not even know that these words exist. So when you read more and more text, you come across more and more words which helps you in building your vocabulary. So similarly, when you build your vocabulary, it will automatically improve your writing skills, because you are going to apply these new words in your writings. You are going to apply these new words, these new sentences through your writing, which will directly help you to enhance your writing skills. So when you're thorough with your reading, when you're thorough with your writing, you know what you have read, you know what you have read, you have understood it completely, you're applying the same things in your writings. So it automatically help you to enhance, to develop your personality. Also, it helps you to develop your communication skills, which is the most important aspect of your, personal as well as your professional life. So developing communication skills also needs, developing your reading skills. So reading is very, very important to develop your communication skills also. So reading expands one's thinking. So as we have discussed, so when you will be coming across different kinds of texts, different kinds of experiences, good reading will help you to expand your thinking. It will try, it will help you to nourish your mind. It will help you with these nourishing ideas, which will help you to develop your thinking. So, this situation can be handled in this way. But when you read the some other text, some other book, the same situation has been analyzed in a different way. So you understand, yeah. So this situation can be handled in this way also. So it helps you to, enhance your thinking capacities, to nourish your thinking capacity. So it also helps you to improve your memory quality. So memory plays a very important role. So to improve your memory also, reading could be the most essential tool which you need to develop. Okay, so next is a reading is a good habit that everyone needs to develop, especially students. Reading requires to have you to have the patience to build a cognitive perspective and brain stimulating activity to sharpen your mind. So when you are reading, just don't read it blankly. Try to understand the meaning of that particular text. So for this, you need to develop patience. You need to, develop your patience to build a cognitive perspective. It is because it is a brain stimulating activity. It is helping your brain to nourish. It is helping your brain to exercise. It will help you to, when your brain is getting the proper nourishment, it will help you to sharpen your mind. And this could be possible because of effective reading. So, reading is also important because it makes you more empathetic, knowledgeable, and stimulates your imagination. So, this we have already discussed that reading helps you to understand the other person's situation. You can place yourself in that opposite person's situation and you can analyze the situation and act accordingly. You can understand the emotions and the feelings of the other person. So, that is called as being empathetic. So, reading could help you to develop these kinds of skills. Next, reading allows one to develop a better understanding of the subject and gain conceptual clarity. So, when you're understanding the text, whatever you're reading, will help you to understand the concept in a clear way. So, just going through the text blindly will not work out. So for effective, when you are doing this effective reading, it will help you to gain the conceptual clarity. Okay, next is it is one of the simplest entertainment entities for human. So as we have discussed, when we are, we are in a stressful situation. So reading is one kind of activity which helps you to gain that entertainment. It helps you to entertain yourself. It helps you to entertain your mind because when you are reading your favorite book, when you are reading a comic, when you are reading a fictional, fictional stories, the autobiographies, the novels, whatever it may be, it will help you to relax your mind because you're diverting yourself from that situation, stressful situation, and you're engaging yourself in this fun activity of reading. So it can be, one of the simplest way of entertaining yourself. It is the simplest way of gaining pleasure, for some time when you are stressful. So it can help you to, combat these depressions and stresses which you are facing in your life. So it could be called as a stress, stress reducing activity. When you're incorporating, efficient reading habits. Next, this is exactly what self-help books, novels, blogs, articles, and non-fiction books contribute. So when you're reading the articles, blogs, which we have discussed, it will help you to contribute towards your own entertainment. Next, reading affects the brain in a significant way. It improves your memory, strengthens the brain connection, and helps a person to live longer. So when you are, a good reader, effective reader, when you have developed this great quality of reading, when you are imbibed, when you have imbibed these skills in you, throughout your life, it will help your brain, to relax, to refresh. You're providing nourishment to your brain through this reading activity. So eventually it will lead to improved memory, a strengthened brain activity, and it will also help to uh, a person to live for a longer period of time. Okay, so these are the different ways in which you can improve your reading skills. So what are the steps which you need to follow to improve your reading skills? It's not that each and every person has that ability to read efficiently without any difficulties. So to develop any skill you need to practice. There are certain strategies, there are certain steps which you need to follow. So, what are the different steps you need to follow to develop your reading skills? So, the first thing is develop a habit of reading daily. So, when you're reading on a regular basis, what happens is you get habituated to it. You first of all you remove that fear. That fear is removed that you cannot read, because when you are reading on a regular basis, you can understand. You can see a significant change in your reading when you're doing it on a regular basis. Set specific goals for your reading. So whenever you're trying to adopt this, to enhance your reading skill, when you have a goal, of developing your reading skills, you work towards it better. You take the necessary steps, you take the necessary actions, you plan yourself, allot some time for reading, prepare a particular timetable, allot at least 10 to 15 minutes in your day, which will be completely dedicated to reading, so that you don't get deviated from a goal. Okay, so make it as a habit of reading. So set specific goals. If you have a specific goal, you get that motivation to work towards it to achieve that goal. Review the text beforehand. So whatever text you're going to read, just try to get a review of it. Means try to understand what the text will be about. Next, try to understand the purpose. When you everything has has its purpose. So when you are reading, also try to analyze what could be the purpose of reading that text. Try to get the idea of the text. So when you're having an idea about that particular text, it becomes easier for you to read. Use different reading strategies. So there are different reading strategies which we'll be discussing. Like skimming the text, scanning the text. There are different methods of reading, which is called as the SQ3R method. Then we have the detailed reading, we have intensive reading, we have extensive reading. So each of these kinds of strategies will have different kinds of purposes which we will come across. So take notes. Next step is take notes as you read. So whenever you are reading a text, make sure that you are making a note of that particular point. Okay, if you are reading a paragraph, I try to identify the idea, the main idea, the central theme of that particular text. So, whatever points you come across, so whatever you have understood, make a note of that point. So that when you read it for the next time, you have it in your notes what the text is about, so it will help you to understand better. And next is summarize what you have read. So whatever text you have read, try to make a summary of it. Summary means in short, in a precise way, in a concise way. If you have read a text which consists of 2 to 3 paragraphs, the main idea of the text, it is called as a topic sentence, which will describe about, what is the text about. So try to identify these, kinds of topic sentences, how the ideas have been developed through these topic sentences. So whatever points you have understood, make a note of it and try to write a summary of the text. Means in short, what is the gist of the text in short. Suppose if the paragraph is of, if the text is about in the text is 3 to 4 paragraphs, is in 3 to 4 paragraphs. So writing a summary means writing whatever is there in, you're just consolidating the information, you're just writing the overall idea of the text in one paragraph, one small paragraph, which could be understandable to you. So that is what is called as the summary. Means summary means in short, the whatever the content is, you're trying to express it in your own words in a shorter way. No, don't write in a detailed manner. Just write the general ideas and the general things, the main points which you have understood from the text. So these are the different ways of reading your, improving your reading skills. Okay, so thank you very much for being with me. See you in the next class. Have a good day.